If I had back pain during squats or deadlifts, this is exactly the 4-step plan I would follow to get rid of it, come back stronger, and most importantly, regain confidence under the bar. And make sure you stay until the end of this video, because if you skip phase 4, the pain is likely to come back sooner or later. My name is Brian, I'm a sports physiotherapist specialized in powerlifting, and on this channel you will find strategies, tips, and exercises to help you overcome pain, rebuild strength, and get back to training at your best. So if you don't want to miss anything that could change and improve your rehab, hit subscribe, and now let's get into it. Okay, so step 1, before starting any rehab exercises, any drill, any training adjustment, we need clarity. We need to assess the pain. So here are some questions you need to ask yourself, you need to answer in order to get more info on your pain. And that will allow us to make better decisions during our rehab process. The first question, so what's that pain intensity during training, but also at rest the day after? Second question, where is the pain localized? Is it a sharp point, or does the pain shoot down your leg? These questions are key to know how aggressive or cautious we will need to be. Third question, when does the pain show up? In which exercises, ranges of motion? Is that just under heavy loads? Is it at the bottom of the squat, at the start of the deadlift, in the whole range of motion? That will be important for choosing variations. And the fourth question is, have you tried to modify anything yet? Does that make your pain worse or better? For example, tempo work, changing your bar position from a low bar squat to a high bar squat, or even a front or xerxes squat. In deadlifts, have you tried pulling conventional, pulling sumo? Does that make any difference for you? The more info we have, the more precise will be the assessment and the more accurate will be your plan. Now we have mostly all of the info that we need, at least at the start of the rehab. We can now jump into step 2, which is a really important one and maybe the most annoying one, but that's really necessary. So that will be finding your tolerable baseline. So the goal is not stopping training, but reduce or manage the painful exposures that are triggering pain in order to just stabilize the situation. But what do we mean by finding the tolerable baseline? That will be a training scheme, a training load, a training plan where you will respect the pain rules. What are those pain rules? The first one is that your pain intensity during training must not exceed 3 out of 10 on that pain intensity scale. At rest, the days you're not training, the days where you don't have exposure to the painful movement, the pain intensity must be under 3 out of 10, so 0, 1, or 2. And the day after an exposure, so if your back hurts during deadlifts, the day after deadlifts, your pain at rest must not increase on that day after that session. So do not exceed 3 out of 10 during training. Pain at rest should be less than 3 out of 10, and pain should not increase after sessions. So we need to reach that goal to find that tolerable baseline. In order to find that, you might have to reduce load during trainings, or at least during the exposures, the movements that are painful to you, but also you can use other strategies like reducing range of motion or finding variations that you tolerate better. And that should allow you to still train hard, put some intensity on your training, and all of that still respecting the pain. For example, what are the variations that you may tolerate better than your competition lifts? For back squats, something that works really well is switching to xerxes squats. For deadlift, something that works well is block pulls, so by reducing the range of motion. Those are 2 variations that you can try. They really work great. They won't fix the problem, but it's a good first step because you're staying active, you are still lifting, and you may even be able to put some intensity on those variations without triggering any pain. On this step number 2, you also want to include exercises that will make you feel better on your back, so mobilizations, strengthening exercises that don't trigger any pain, and also it's really important to stay more active, increase your physical activity levels throughout the day. Stay in this phase, in this tolerable baseline, respecting those pain rules, those pain intensities from 2 to 3 weeks at least, so long enough to see the pain stabilize and to see that your symptoms are under control. Still respecting the pain to rebuild real strength. By the way, if this is being useful, pay attention because I have something for you. What if I told you that you could have access to the exact same rehab protocols that have already helped more than 300 powerlifters to come back stronger and to pain-free lifts? That would be nice, right? Well, that's just the start, because I've built a platform so you won't be alone during your rehab. You will be part of a private community with me and other supportive lifters who, just like you, want to lift heavier, dominate pain, and take care of their joints, of their body, so they can stay in the game for the long term. No fluff here, no random exercises, just what works for powerlifting athletes. You will find programs, movement breakdowns, and feedback during live sessions where I will answer to all your questions and doubts personally. Everything is built so you know exactly what to do in order to dominate pain, whether it's on your back, on your shoulders, on your knees, hips. Whatever's holding you back, there's a program for that. So if you're serious about your health, your training, and you want to finally get rid of your pain, click the first link in the description and join the Rehab for Lifters community. So step number 3 is going to be regaining function. That means progressing, putting more load on your rehab exercises, making them more specific, more intense, increasing that range of motion, rounding more your back, introducing more load, and getting closer, and of course, getting closer to your regular training scheme. What I recommend here is keeping your variations, your modified lifts that we implemented in step number 2, but now we will increase the load, the volume, the intensity of those, but also reintroduce competition lifts on a second frequency, and remember, always respecting those pain rules. So for example, that block pull gets heavier, and in a second session of deadlifts, you can re-implement light deadlifts on a full range of motion. You keep the Xerxes squat we talked about, but you can do a second squat throughout your week, and that will be a tempo squat, a competition squat, something that's more specific, closer to the competition lift. The goal here is to progressively have more exposure to the movements that you could not tolerate in step 1. We are now reintroducing them to your training plan, but they are not going to be too heavy yet because you're focusing on getting stronger on the rehab exercises, but also the variations that you're really sure that you can tolerate well. Here you can load your rehab exercises, so back extensions, Jefferson curls, work on your core like V sit-ups, resisted rotations or side bends. Try to move in different directions and load those patterns. So at the end of phase number 3, you are now tolerating load again. Your pain is almost gone, but there's still one thing missing, and that is confidence. And that's where step number 4, phase number 4 comes, and that will be challenge and stimulate. So the goal here will be to challenge you and to simulate the movements, the ranges of motion, the loads that were problematic before. This phase is about exposing your back to the situations where it once failed, but now in a controlled and intelligent way. We do this with what I call simulated risk. So for example, did you get hurt in a deadlift by pulling heavy off the floor? The goal will be to regain strength and confidence at that specific range of motion, at that specific effort. So something that will help you with that will be working on heavy isometrics, sumo pulls from the floor. If you got hurt at the bottom of the squat, get exposure to a long pause squat. That might be helpful to regain confidence in that range of motion. Keep it simple and stupid. Simulate the range that was problematic for you, but in specific exercises in a more controlled way with a load progression that makes sense. So to recap, assess, adapt, rebuild, and simulate. And above all, don't stop training. Don't fall for the rest and wait trap. And now if you want to get a step-by-step rehab program for your back pain, so you can literally follow the plan and don't overthink, click the link below, join Rehab for Lifters, don't overthink, and just follow the plan. That's honestly the best thing you could do in order to get rid of your pain and to come back stronger. I'll see you there.